For most of us, what we pay for curbside rubbish collection is based on our rates and our property value.
We already have a situation where local authorities are starting to weigh the rubbish that goes to landfill, and we're going to start having to pay significantly for it.
According to Perth architect Richard Hammond, your rubbish bill is going to become as big a deal as your power bill. And it's why his future development plans will include an on-site waste management system.
More importantly, I reckon, is that it's actually a resource. You know, organic waste, if you can keep it on site and use it, is actually quite valuable to you. You don't need to buy fertilisers and other nutrients.
Key to his plans is this. It's called the Subpod, a reimagining of composting.
As a novice composter for 40 years, there were really inherent problems. And the biggest problem was odour, vermin, and systems overheating.
Andrew Hayem de Vries decided in his late 50s he had to set about reinventing composting. So he sold his home and sunk every cent into the Subpod concept. Now 63, he may just be Australia's oldest first-time founder of a startup.
Are you nuts?
Yeah, some people would say I'm nuts.
He says the key difference is the system is underground, unlike traditional compost bins, which overheat and don't work efficiently.
Subpod is like a motor in a car. We can take that motor in that car and build different configurations. So for homes and cafes and resorts and et cetera, if we can build environments that are multi-use and we're creating a mini waste plant.
The system can be scaled up as large as required, depending on how much organic waste you need to turn into soil. Take this system installed into a 120-bed resort in Sri Lanka.
80% of the system's below ground and about 10% of the system's above ground. And it's got holes that allow worms and microbes to travel in and out.
Attached to a vegetable garden, it acts as an automatic fertiliser for an area with a 3-metre radius from the pod. Some estimates are up to 70% of what we put on the curb is compostable.
If I notice that I've cooked a whole meal and there's not much compost, I think that means I'm probably not cooking right for the family.
Chloe McCarthy says it changed their family dynamic in a way they never expected after getting a Subpod as a trial.
We never really liked lettuce at all, but then the whole thing was full of just lettuce, and so we would just pick it out, some for the rabbit, some for us, and it actually tasted good.
Andrew has been designing bespoke systems for clients all over the world, but he's now about to launch a mass-produced model that can be ordered online.
It is about re-educating people to come back and compost.
For Richard Hammond, he sees the Subpod as the invention that will change community development. He believes lifestyle villages will now look like this, with food production and organic waste management all done on site, because it will make economic sense.
I'd say that in the next village I do, we'll be putting them in for sure. Either just in the communal gardens, but also potentially in the individual gardens for each house.